We finally get on to some more realistic things. A lot of times when you read studies and read research, they try to give you tables, and then you have to interpret numbers from tables, okay? So, I don't know. I'm not too fond of this table, but let's go ahead and look at this. So they're going to use M for men, W for women, C for children, and then they're looking at what do you use as your search engine? Do you use Google, Yahoo, or Bing? Of course, these numbers aren't current, but that's perfectly fine. This is just for these purposes. Let's look at this. So for instance, this would say that 440 are men who use Google, okay? So what my issue with this chart is generally you want totals. Now in this one we might not need totals. For instance, how many total men are there? How many total Google users are there? For this particular problem, we don't need to know the totals, but if you remember the probability section, the probability chapter that we do, you would most definitely need the totals for these charts. But let's just go ahead and move on. Even though this chart isn't complete to me, we can still answer the questions that they ask because they're very basic. So this first one says, what's the number of, remember N means the number of people that are in W intersect Y. So remember that's W stands for what? Well, W is women. Intersection is the word and then Y stands for use Yahoo. So what they're asking for here is really how many women use Yahoo? How many women use Yahoo? Well, here's Yahoo. In women users, I'm seeing a total of 280, which I circled in red for you. Let's look at B here. Let's think about what this really means. I see an N here for the number of G. So G stands for use Google, intersect, which is and, C complement, which means they are not children. So if they are not children, they have to be men or women, right? So this would be the number of Google users who are men or women. So I'll do this one. I did the last one in red. I'll do Google users that are men or women. I'll do that in blue. So I see two of them. I see 440 plus the 390. 440 plus the 390. Add those together and see what you get. I'm getting a total of, please check my math again, this is 830 is what I'm getting. So there would be 800 people that use Google and they are not children. 830 that use Google and are not children. Okay, let's do the next one. Let's see this. M stands for, so number of, M stands for men, intersections and then we have G, which means use Google, union, which means or, and then B, which means use Bing. So it's how many men also use Google or Bing. How many men use Google or Bing? So the number of men who use Google or Bing. So I'll do this one in green, Google or Bing, and men. So here's men, there's Google. Oop, nope, I screwed that up. I circled Yahoo, I apologize. So there's Google, which is the 440, the Bing, which is the 275. So I need to take the 440 plus the 275. When I do that, I'm getting a total of 715? 715 is what I'm getting a total of. Perfect. There we go. All right, let's see if we can continue on. We're going to use the exact same table. Let's just make sure we know what it means. Number in Y union C. So Y stands for Yahoo. So the number who use Yahoo or they are children. Okay, number who use Yahoo or they are children. Well, I don't have too many colors left, so I'll start using highlighters instead. So to do this one, the number who use Yahoo or children, so what would I be doing for that one? Well, I'd be looking at the Yahoo users, which are these three, the 310, the 280, and the 410, Or I'd be looking at children, which is the 140, the 410, and the 40. You just have to make sure that you don't add that 410 number twice, right? So what numbers do I see for those? I see a 310 plus a 280 plus a 140 plus a 410 plus a 40. So that's how I'm getting that one right there, is I'm doing the 310 plus the 280 plus the 140 plus the 410 plus the 40. Please do that now. I'm getting a total of, and please check my math on this one, 1180, I believe. Double check my math. Let's look at the next one and make sure that makes sense. We can make sense of that. The number who be, which means use being, intersection, which means and, im complement. So that's not men. So if you're not men, then you have to be a woman or a child. So this would be the number who use being that are not men, which means they are women or children. So how many children and women use beings? So I'm going to go back to a highlighter now. Let's highlight this one in red. They use being, they're women or children. So I'm going to go up here with my highlighter. Where am I looking? They use being, they're women or they're children. So I see a 325 and a 40. So I'll do that now. So that's the 325 plus the 40. If I do 325 plus 40, I'm getting 365. So there's 365 users that use being who are women or children, or in this particularly what we meant to say is use being and are not men. Whew. One last one here. Let's see if we can get through it. It looks big, but let's figure it out. This is the number of, G stands for Google, intersection is and, M. So this is men who use Google right here, or, union stands for or, G, which means Google, and, intersection means and, W means women. So this is the number of men who use Google or women who use Google. The number of men who use Google or women who use Google. Okay, let me get another color out here. I'll do highlighter. Which ones am I talking about for that? Men who use Google and women who use Google. So I'm going to come up here. Looks like we've already done that one in all honesty. Here's the men who use Google is 440. The women who use Google is 390. So I should be doing 440 plus 390. Let's go for that. The 440 plus 390. When I do that, I'm getting a total of 830. Please double check my math on that one, but that's what I'm getting, is 830 people. Okay, so there's my answers to the page right there for you. That's just reading through the chart. You most definitely will have a chart like this on the test, so you still need to know how to solve these problems.